Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Difa Arum Sari with MBM 2120305050. Here, I will explain about the structure and function of animal tissue. There are four that we will discuss, namely epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and neural tissue. The first is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is a tissue that surrounds or lines the surface of organs, cavities, and channels, both outside and inside the body. The epithelial tissue that lines the outer layer of the body is called the epidermis. The epithelial tissue that lines the internal organs is called the endothelium. And the epithelial tissue that lines the cavity is called the mesothelium. The characteristics of epithelial tissue are 1. Arranged tightly so that there is almost no space between cells. The second does not contain blood vessels. Epithelial cells get nourishment from blood capillaries found in connective tissue. And the third has a fairly high regeneration ability. Epithelium classification. The first is simple epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium consists of a layer of flattened cells. This type is thin and permeable. Its role is in the process of oxygen and carbon dioxide diffusion and blood filtration in the process of urine formation. Found in capillary walls where the exchange of nutrients and water between blood and body tissue occurs. Found in the alveoli where gas exchange occurs. The second is simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium consists of a layer of cup-shaped cells. Their salivary, sweat, and renal ducts plays a role in secretion and absorption. The third is the simple stem epithelium. Simple stem epithelium consists of a single layer of elongated cells in the active motion of the molecule. Digestive tract from the stomach to the anus, as well as the gland and interspersed with globed cells. Some have cilia, for example, tooth and the inner lining of the uterine canal. The last one is pseudo-coated stem epithelium. Pseudo-stratified rod epithelium attached to basement membrane. Cell nuclei are located at different heights. Found, for example, on the inside of the respiratory tract, working to remove dust trapped in mucus from the lungs. The second classification of epithelium is stratified epithelium. The first stratified squamous epithelium, which consists of many layers of cell and the cell on the surface are flattened. The stratified squamous epithelium is the thickest and most suitable for protective function. From the epidermis of the skin and side of the mouth, esophagus, and vagina. The second, cuboidal epithelium and stratified rods rarely found in the body, only in the leg tract. For example, mammary glands, salivary glands, base of the esophagus, and plays a role in secretion. The third is the transitional epithelium. This type is found in the urinary organs, such as the ureter and the inside of the kidney. Form an impermeable barrier so that urine does not penetrate the bladder wall. The last one is granular epithelium. In endocrine gland, the epithelial cells that connect the gland and the epithelial surface are lost. An example is the thyroid gland. The secretion of the exocrine gland go directly to the surface of the epithelium. Multicellular exocrine glands have ducts to channel their secretion onto the epithelial surface. The second structure of animal tissue is connective tissue. Connective tissue cells are 1. Fibroblast secrete proteins. 2. Macrophages are irregularly shaped and are specifically located near blood vessels. 3. Mast cells function to produce heparin and histamine substances. 4. Fat cells are cells that are specifically to store fat. And finally, white blood cells function against pathogens. Connective tissue classification. The first is dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue is divided into two types, namely this irregular connective tissue and this regular tissue. The second is loose connective tissue. The function of loose connective tissue is 1. Give shape to internal organs, such as lymph nodes. 2. Support, surround, and connect elements from all other networks, for example, envelope muscle fibers, pass the tissue under the skin to form a membrane that lines the heart and the abdominal cavity, and to form a membrane called mesenteric. The last one is cartilage. Cartilage is a specialized product of fibrous connective tissue with an elastic matrix. There are three types of cartilage. The first is hyaline cartilage, the second is elastic cartilage, and the third is fibrous cartilage. The third structure of animal tissue is muscle tissue. Muscle fibers contain actin and myosin filaments for active locomotion. Muscle tissue is composed of longitudinal cells and myofibers. Classification of muscle tissue. The first is smooth muscle. Smooth muscle consists of spindle-shaped cell, has one nucleus located in the center of the cell. Contraction of smooth muscle cell not under the influence of consciousness is called involuntary muscle. Smooth muscle activity does not cause fatigue. Smooth muscle is found in body cavities such as the digestive tract. The second is striated muscle. Striated muscle long and brown cylindrical shape. Has many cell nuclei scattered at the edge of the cell. Subconscious striated muscle contraction. The contraction of striated muscle are fast and strong and can cause fatigue. The last is cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle structure resembles striated muscle. Cardiac muscle cells form chain and often branch into two or more branches to form a syncytium. Have one or two cell nuclei located in the center of the cell. Cardiac muscle cells are innervated by the nervous system autonomy. Contractions are not under the influence of consciousness and do not cause fatigue. The last animal structure is the neural network. The first step or nerve cells are sensory neurons which convey stimuli from the organ receiving stimuli to the central nervous system. The second is intermediate neurons which form links and are present in the central nervous system, stimulated by impulse from sensory neurons or from other intermediate neurons. And the third is motor neurons that send impulse from the central neuron system to muscle and glands that will carry out the body's response. That's enough explanation for me. More or less sorry. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.